Hi, and welcome to video number 3, where we talk about getting your first sale. Now, in video number 2, we briefly touched base on how to meet with your clients, how to get a good view of their company, and then, of course, how to get their expectations and things like that. So you can mold your proposal towards that specific company once you know the company better. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to close a deal or how to get your first sale. Now, as you know, proposals are going to be customized towards a company. Not all companies are going to be the same. Some will have more expenses and some will have less. Now, there are 2 steps to take. The first step is to show people a website example. So the goal with this video series is to get you to understand how to set up your own WordPress website so that you can do it yourself or you can outsource that. If you understand the process and you understand how to create one, go ahead and create one before you actually, try to create a website company. Because if you have a website example, then it'll actually help increase your conversion rate when you sell. Showing people the end result or what they're going to get is the best way to sell. Just trying to describe to them, for example, if I was selling marketing to a company, if I was saying, you need this, you need that, this is why you need it, I found most companies will never understand. But if I show them, hey, look, my company is getting top rankings, and check this out. I show them that my company is indeed getting top rankings, and I can say, I can get you to the top as well. I mean, think of these 2 cases. Which one would you pick? Most likely the second case, because if you can see the end result, then you want to buy it, because then you want to get it. It's like going to the store and being able to see the product in hand. So that's the first step you need to take, is to build your own website. And number 2, of course, the proposal is pricing. So if you figure out, you get the number 1 done, then in the future, all you have to do is take one step, is the proposal. Now, in the proposal, it's all about the pricing and things like that. So I'm going to talk about the pricing in just a minute. So let's talk about the pricing. Now, remember, hosting. Hosting, you're going to need hosting, and you're going to need a domain name. Now, hosting is, as you know, web hosting is the server or the place where the files are hosted. So in order to set up a website, you need 2 things. You need a hosting, web hosting, and a domain name. A domain name is like, I generally like to use this example, and you feel free to use this example as well. When I describe to my customers, what is domain names, what is hosting, and most people don't even care. They just want a website. But some people want more detail. So what I say is okay, look, hosting is like a house. If you think about a house has stuff in it, right? It's got furniture and things like that. But if it's an empty house, it's an empty house. The house has an address that is stuck to the house. The address points to the house. And if somebody's going to the house, they go to the address and then they see the house. It's the same thing with a website. Website hosting is like the house that holds the items and the furniture and things like that. And the domain name is like the address. So I say, okay, in order to have a site, you need both. And hosting is like a monthly fee. I pay monthly fee. So what you can do is you can charge them a monthly fee. So in a way, you're earning recurring monthly income. Now, there are several ways to earn monthly income, and I'll show you ways to do that. But with hosting, depending on the needs of the company, you could have packages. Now, some companies will need more packages, more space, more bandwidth. And you can tell them that, okay, and instead of telling them, you just tell them, okay, for example, restaurants, places like maybe places that don't require, unless the restaurant has lots and lots of videos, but most likely not. most likely, if you think about companies that only require a few pictures and maybe a few videos, then most of those companies won't even exceed 5 gigs of bandwidth each month, depending on maybe how many people visit. I used to run a web hosting business, in fact, in college, and I realized that most people never use their hosting space. But you can say, okay, for hosting, I'll give you, all you have to do is pay me, 20, 30 bucks a month. You know, it's not a whole lot. You could even increase it and look at your competitors and balance it out that way. But some companies, let's say, for example, videographers, wedding photographers. I know several wedding photographers that have tons and they're constantly uploading tons and tons of videos, tons and tons of pictures, which add up to space. Now, they're probably going to require, 20, 30 or more gigs. So you need to have, be able to charge them more. You're going to have to say, okay, I can give you 20 gigs for $40 a month, or 20 gigs for, $50 a month or $100 a month, whatever. But as you can see, hosting is where you can earn some monthly recurring fees. But with hosting, you got to understand the company. That's why it's so important when you meet with a client to understand the company, their sales process, how many videos they're going to have, how many pictures they're going to have, and if they're going to expand, bandwidth, they're going to need a lot of bandwidth and a lot of space. Most likely, if they're videos and pictures, they're going to need a lot of bandwidth. So you're going to have to up your own server or hosting account. So definitely you want to choose the web hosting correctly and price it correctly. What I usually like to do is, in the past, is to attach this amount of domain years. I'll do something like 3 years. With this package, you're going to get 3 years of domain, registration fees. I'm going to pay for 3 years of domain registration fees. Now, you can use a site like namecheap.com, or if they want to use their own, they can use their own. Now, in this case, Namecheap, I believe it costs around, right now it's $89.89, but it can fluctuate from anywhere from that to the real fee being about $9 or $10. So something you could say is, okay, every year after that, I'm going to charge you $15 per year, because you got to remember, you got to renew it. It takes your time, things like that. So you could say, I'm going to charge you $15 to $20 a year for domain names after the 3 years, but for the first 3 years, I'm going to give it to you for free. You could even do that for hosting. You say, I'll give you the first month for free, and then after that, I'll charge you a monthly fee. So it's really up to you how much you charge, but just keep in mind that you might want to do your research first for the area surrounding you and see what your competitors are charging. Then you can say something like, you just start adding stuff to it, like professional graphics. I'll include that in professional web design, corporate branding. I'm going to set up a website that will help brand your company. I'm going to set up a website that is SEO friendly, search engine friendly, and has effective internet marketing. That kind of leaves it open to you if you want to do more stuff like feature opportunities, like setting up autoresponders, mobile marketing, things like that. So search engine optimization, like I said, I'm going to show you how to install SEO plugins, and you can do that and basically just insert the SEO plugins, and that's pretty much it, as included in the pricing. But then that's where you can sell future opportunities. Now let's continue on. Customize content management tools, CMS, basically stands for that, content management system. Basically what that is the ability to allow your customers to have full control over the website. So you can say, I'm going to customize the site so you have full control and full access. And in fact, in video number 7, I'm going to show you how to make the site much easier to use, so that if that's the case, then you can do that. If they want you to edit for them. You don't have to go through video 7 if you don't want to. You can if you want to, if it makes it easier for you. Then we can talk about blogs. You can say, I'll install a blog there for you if you want to update news and things like that. Most companies, some companies use blogs, some companies don't. They don't have a lot of updated news, like for example, restaurants. They don't care, then you don't need to include that. But if you know that that's something that they can use, then include that. See, as you can see here, it's really about customization. It's all about knowing the company. If you know that the company probably needs blogs, then include that in the package, because guess what? That's going to be a higher conversion for you. Video and Flash integration. Video files, of course, you can use some sites like Animoto to set up professional videos quickly and add those to the page. Now just keep in mind, for business reasons, I believe Animoto charges $240 a year or $39 a month off the top of my head. It could change anytime, but the videos they create are very, very quick, very, very easy to do, unless you have somebody that wants to create it, on your own. Now, if they have videos initially, that's fine. If they want more videos in the long run, you might want to consider, things like that. All right, so next we got reliable email hosting, which is basically email hosting. So, I mean, that's pretty much part of the package that comes along with the web hosting anyways. So, reliable email hosting, I mean, depending on how much emails they use, that can take up space. So because of it taking up space, you need to have web hosting that has something called POP3 or SMTP. Most companies have that, and if you follow this video, use the site that I recommend. Email hosting, web hosting, everything like that. I'm a big believer in the company that I'm about to recommend, and I'll tell you why later. But as of now, reliable web hosting for email hosting, that's included. That just keep in mind that if they have lots and lots of emails, then you need to increase the amount of space that you're going to charge. Then you can say, I'm going to add a useful website tracking and statistics. If you want to do this, you can use something like Google Analytics and just add it to WordPress. Now, I'm not going to show you how to do that, but that's just something that you can include in your package. There's tons and tons of stuff that you can include in your package that I might not list here today. Full control over content or monthly updates. Now here's where you need to, like when you're during your meeting, you need to figure out, do they want full control or do they want you to update it for them? If they want full control, then yes, it applies the same thing above the top where we customize the content management tools, which is in video number 7. But if they don't and they want you to do monthly updates, then I would recommend you charge at least $200 minimum. Now you could say, I'll $200 minimum. That is up to maybe 4 updates, and any updates after that, I'm going to charge $50 or whatever. But you just got to keep in mind that, just in case, that they start requiring you to update, because if they do, that's going to take a lot of your time and it's just not going to be worth it. So keep in mind, you want to charge hourly after you charge the flat rate. I would say a minimum of $1,500, a minimum. I mean, most offline businesses, if you say anything lower than $1,000, they're going to think you're cheap and go to the next guy. Or if they're looking for a $500 website, most of these clients are pretty tight budget. Doesn't always mean they're cheap. I generally don't exactly do business with people lower than that, just because through my experience, I found people around 500, they don't know exactly what they want and they're not willing to pay the amount. They're not serious enough. And I generally find people who are very nitpicky once you get below 500. I mean, it's fine if you find somebody who is not nitpicky, but for most part, I found that if I increase my prices, I'm serious about what I do. I'm serious about what I provide. I provide good quality stuff, and they are serious about it. Then it's kind of like a qualification thing for you. Now, I'm not saying you can't go below, but I'm just telling you from my experience that if I've increased the prices, not just increasing the prices and not providing quality, I'm increasing the prices and increasing the quality at the same time. But doing so really indeed actually helps. Now, for the first few jobs, you might want to charge lower, like maybe 1,000 or lower, just get your portfolio growing. But once you have your portfolio growing, then you don't have to worry about that in the future. Now, future opportunities, remember I talked about, think about future opportunities. You know, how much space do they need? How much bandwidth do they need? Do they need more? If they do need more, then you need to put that in your proposal, because if you don't tell them upfront the fees, then later on when you charge them the fees, they're going to get really mad. So you don't want that. So future opportunities, video marketing. Let's say you can use video marketing. Video marketing is a powerful source of marketing. It's free. Most of it's free, unless you use Traffic Geyser, but you can use a site called PixelPipe to do video marketing just as good, and make videos with Animoto. You know, it speeds up the process. So you can offer video marketing, you can offer video creation, autoresponders, mobile marketing, and things like that.